In Naimisharanyam, Sudha Muni was sitting with his disciples on the banks of the holy river. And all the disciples were asking, you know, people are struggling so much in the Kali Yuga, Guruji. Is there anything we can do or advise or help them in such a way they can have a happy, fulfilled, less painful life? They asked. And Sudha Muni said to Saunakadi Munis that it is a very good question. In fact, this is the same question once was asked by Narada himself. And that time, Narada was roaming around the whole world, and after a while, his heart was fully filled with the sorrow and pain on seeing the people suffering. So he went straight to Vaikunth. He decided he is going to ask the question and get the remedy for the people on the below. So he went to Vaikunth, where Mata Lakshmi and Bhagavan Vishnu, who is himself all the time is Alankara Priya, and who was decorated with the lotus and other flowers, and all the beautiful things, necklaces, everything, jewelries, ornaments, everything, and he, with a broad smile on his face, welcomed Narada Mahamuni and said, "Welcome, Narada. How come you came all the way here? What can I do for you?" asked Vishnu Bhagavan, along with the Lakshmi Mata. Okay, but Narada Mahamuni opened his heart and expressed his pain. He said, "Hey Bhagavan, you know everything. You don't even need to ask me. But if you are asking me, let me say you. I was doing parikrama of the world, universe, and I saw the people in this Kali Yuga struggling for every bit and no peace in mind, lot of diseases around, and no money, no things to buy what they want to buy. So everybody has different problems, but one thing is common, is everybody has big problems. I just want to ask you, Bhagavan, that can you please suggest anything that these people who are struggling and suffering can get relief from it and become happy again and become peaceful again and become fulfilled again?" asked Narada Muni. And Bhagavan Vishnu, along with Mata Lakshmi, said, "Hey Narad, you came all the way here to Vaikunth and you never even asked anything for you, but you asked for others. That just filled my heart. I am going to say you everything that need to be said and to make these people help to get out of the sorrow and sufferings they are going through in this Kali Yuga," he said. And he told Narada Mahamuni about the Satyanarayana Vrat, where he explained how the puja is being done for Satyanarayana Swami, along with the Ganapati and Panchaloka Palaka and Navagrahas, and along with Indra and Ashtadik Palaka. Okay, and how this is being performed with Abhishek, Aradhana, and with a Virad. He explained everything to him, and he told Narada Mahamuni that when doing this puja, I guarantee you, people will be relieved from the sufferings and the struggle they go through. In this Kali Yuga, this work like a medicine, and they will be off of it, they said Bhagavan Vishnu. So Narada Mahamuni said, "Hey Bhagavan, thank you for helping not only me, but all the people in the world. But let me ask you a question. When do we do this puja? And how do we do it?" asked Narada Mahamuni. And Bhagavan Vishnu said, hey Narad, this puja is performed on a full moon day, very preferably. But if somebody is not able to do it on the full moon day, they can do it on many Thursdays. If somebody is not able to even do it on the Thursdays, that is okay. They can do it on any day that is comfortable for them. And all they have to do is make the prasad and do the puja and call their friends and family members and distribute the prasad and enjoy the evening as a part of the Virat. And so that everybody who participate, everybody who say this story, everybody who participate in the puja, everybody who hear this story, everybody who take the prasad, each one of them get blessed abundantly. And they will be freed from all the sufferings and the struggles, said Bhagavan Vishnu. Prathamadhyaga Sampurnam. Om Sri Satyanarayana Swamine Namaha. Now, Saunakadi Munis were very excited and they asked Sudha Muni, their guru, that, hey Guruji, anybody have done this puja ever before so that we know that it works? Sudha Muni, sitting on the banks of the river on Naimisharanya, said to his disciples, I can give you example after example. In fact, there was a Brahman who was living in the oldest city in the world, Kashi Managar. Right? In Kashi Nagar. He was living with his family. And he was struggling. He was an educated person, but he was going for Bhikshadan, and every day, some days he will get a half stomach full, some day he will get quarter stomach full, some day nothing. And he and his wife and children were so discouraged. And especially on seeing their children being hungry many nights, they decided life is not worth living no more. And when they were going through this kind of struggle, Bhagavan Satyanarayana himself, who is all filled with the mercy in the heart, he showed up there as another Brahman next to this person, and he asked to this Brahman, hey Arya, you look to be very educated person, but you look like you didn't eat for a couple of days now. What is happening with you? Are you okay? And the Brahman listened to this and almost in tears said to him, no Swami, I didn't eat. In fact, we didn't get enough food. Whatever we got, we tried to give for our children. Even they are also hungry and they are also struggling. I don't know how to pass this life. We are struggling very much, said this Brahman. So, Bhagavan Satyanarayana, in the form of Brahman, said to this Brahman, hey Brahman, you go to home today and you do the Satyanarayana Vrat. And on doing this, all your problems with the money will be resolved. And you will have a happy life, he said. Is that right? Asked the other Brahman. And God assured him, yes, that is the case. And so Brahman was all excited. He thanked God, not knowing he is Satyanarayana Bhagavan himself, and knowing how to do the puja from him, learning how to do the puja from him, he, with the enthusiasm, he left from there and asked for Bhikshadan from all over again, and he decided whatever the Bhiksha he will get today, he is going to do Satyanarayana Puja. And he went home and to his surprise, Everybody just poured that day for him. Wherever he stopped, people gave him money, eatables, everything. He collected and he went home and told his wife about Satyanarayana Vrat. And in the evening itself, they invited their friends because they want to make sure everybody flourish. So they called all of them close to the home and did the Satyanarayana Vrat and distributed the prasad. And when they were doing the puja, there was a woodcutter who was very tired, cutting the woods right from the morning, very tired and thirsty. He was coming over that way. And he saw a few people standing on this home of the Brahman, and he thought, let me go and ask some drinking water and drink and go. So he went into the home and the puja was happening. And he asked them if he can get a glass of water. And Brahman and his wife said, you can certainly get, but we are doing a puja right now. We have invited all our friends because whomever attends will be blessed with all health, wealth, prosperity and happiness. So you also attend and you also stay here. Listen to the story. Listen, see the puja and have the prasad for you and your family. And you will also be blessed and then you can go, requested the couple. And the woodcutter happily agreed for it and stayed for the puja. And they finished the puja and gave the prasad. And the woodcutter was so excited and he asked the Brahman, hey Brahman Devta, is this puja is something that I can also do and benefit? He asked. And the Brahman said, yes, absolutely, you can do it. And he said, I was struggling also. Somebody told me to do this puja and you can do it and we all can be freed from all the struggle and suffering, said the Brahman. And in fact, he went and did the puja for him. The woodcutter was so excited, he called all the people from nearby places and the prasad was distributed, puja was done and everybody were happy. And from that day onwards, the woodcutter, like the Brahman, their whole family lived happily ever after. Dvitiya Adhyaya Sampurna. Saunakadi Munis who were sitting on the feet of the Muni in the banks of the holy river of Naimisharanya asked again, hey Gurudev, anybody have done this puja for any other reason also, or everybody wanted only money? How does this work? They asked. And Sudamuni said, no, it's not like that. Whatever is one's suffering and struggle, and that vanishes. In fact, I will say you, one day there was a merchant by name Sadhu. He was in an island in Bhadrasila Nadi, where after selling all his goods, he came back to get his boat. But he was surprised to see the king and queen of that country were sitting on the banks of the river and doing Satyanarayana Vrat. And he was surprised. Sadhu, the merchant, went and asked the king, Vulkamukudu, hey king, we all do puja because we want something. And you are such a great person. You are the king of this nation. And why do you do the puja? What is that you are lagging? Asked Sadhu. And the king humbly said, hey merchant, everybody has a need. And for me and queen, it has been a long time that we got married. And we don't have kids yet. So, we are doing this puja as suggested by the Guruji. And we shall be blessed, said Raja. And is that right, said Sadhu? And the king requested him to stay there for the puja and attend and take the prasad and eat and go, you know. And merchant was happy. He attended the puja and he ate the prasad. Then he got his boat and went to his home. Sadhu's wife is Leelavati. Leelavati was very happy to see him back. And as they had a small talk, Sadhu said, surprising this time, that I met the king and the queen doing the Satyanarayana Pooja on the banks of the Bhadrasila river. And when I asked them why they do what they are doing, they said they are doing for the children. They don't have children yet, said Sadhu. And Leelavati said to Sadhu, we are also married a long time back and we don't have children either. If this puja is such that we can get blessed, if the king and queen can get blessed, why not we do this puja and we also get blessed? And Sadhu said to his wife that absolutely, let's pray God that as we get the child, we will do this puja, said the merchant. So he went on to the next trip and the next trip and the next trip. And in the meantime, his wife delivered a baby girl, beautiful baby girl, and they named her as Kalavati. The merchant's wife got blessed with a beautiful baby girl and they named her Kalavati. And as soon as Kalavati was born, she reminded the merchant that they owe the puja for the god. They need to do the Satyanarayana Pooja, you know. And Sadhu the merchant said, hey, you know what? Why to do now? Let's wait for some time. Anyway, we will do marriage for our girl as soon as she becomes big, you know. And along with the marriage, we will do the puja so that we don't need to invite everybody twice. They will all come and everybody can attend. It will be fun-filled thing. And his wife said, okay. And merchant went on to look after his business. And as the time rolled, Kalavati became a beautiful young girl. And in fact, she was getting ready to marry. And her marriage happened with her husband, young man, in a big way. And in the whole function, Sadhu and his wife Leelavati have forgotten that they have to do the Satyanarayana Puja. They forgot in the busy thing. And in fact, Sadhu was so focused. As soon as his daughter get married, he took her husband and he said, come on, I will teach you the business. And both of them left in the boat, you know, leaving both mom and daughter in the home. And so they both went and they went to different places selling the goods, etc. And they reached an island called Ratnasarapam. And there they got down from the boat. They were tired. They put whatever the jewelries they brought for sale, they put it on their head as a bundle and they started sleeping on the banks. That's all it is. On the chowtry there. And at the same time, some thieves came into the palace and took all the jewelries of the queen. And when they were escaping, the soldiers saw them and started chasing them. And they ran and entered into the same chowtry where Sadhu and his son-in-law were sleeping. And they threw the bundles of jewelries at them. And they jumped and escaped and jumped into the river and escaped from there. And by the time the soldiers came into the chowtry, Sadhu and his son-in-law woke up from the sleep and they were surprised what fell on them, and they started looking around. Everything was jewelry and they were excited to count the jewelries, who gave, what gave, how it came, etc. And by the time, so all the soldiers came to handcuff them and take them to the palace. And they said to them many, many times that they are not thieves, they don't know how this jewelry came to them, but nobody was there to listen to them. So they were confident that they will meet the king and explain the same. That king, his name is that king who is normally a very justice giving person. That day, for whatever reason, he didn't even do much of an inquiry. And he put both of these guys behind the bar and took all the jewelries. And they got more jewelries than what got stolen from the palace. But the king thought, okay, anyway, they would have stolen it from somewhere else. You know? So if anybody asks, we can give it. So he got everything and put it inside the palace. And as the days goes by, one day, Kalavati and Leelavati were talking, in the back home. At back home, Kalavati and Leelavati, it has been a long time now after the merchant and his son-in-law left. And in fact, their home got fully broken and dacoits took out all the robbers, took out all the valuables, and they were left with nothing. In fact, they dropped from a well-to-do family to a begging family. And one day, when her daughter went for bhiksha to get the food, and she didn't return back after a long time after the sunset, and her mother was very worried. And she was standing outside the door and she saw her daughter coming slowly. And she asked her, what happened? Why so late? And daughter Kalavati explained that when she was going for bhiksha, she saw in a home there were few people. When she reached there thinking she may get something to eat and bring home, they said there is a Satyanarayana Pooja happening there. So if she can wait there and finish the puja, attend the puja, and listen to the story and eat the prasad and take it to home and go. So, Mom, I thought that is nice of them to say so. So I stayed there for the whole puja, attended, and took the prasad and came here even for you, she said. And all of a sudden, the bulb went on for Leelavati. And she said, wow, maybe that's why we are struggling. Kalavati asked, what? She said, your dad and myself, we prayed God that we will do Satyanarayana Pooja as soon as you were born. But we never did it. When I told your dad, he said we can do it during the wedding. And he forgot, we all forgot in the busy. Now maybe because of that, we are struggling now. And she told to her daughter that, you know what, let's not delay no more. Whatever comes tomorrow, we will do the puja, Satyanarayana Pooja. And they decided that, and Kalavati went for bhikshadam. And she went and requested the people for dhan. And everybody poured again. She came back with a filled heart, and whatever she got, with that they did the puja, Satyanarayana Pooja. And as soon as the Satyanarayana Pooja took place that day, and they had the prasad, in the dream, early morning, in the dream of the king, Satyanarayana Bhagavan himself gave darshan and told, hey Raja, the two people who you have arrested inside are not the thief. In fact, they were merchants, and they told me that they will do Satyanarayana Vrat, and they didn't do it, and that's why they got the punishment. So now their family, his wife and daughter are doing the puja. You can let them go. You can let them go. Don't don't think you missed your justice because it's all were my Maya. So you can let them go, said Swami Bhagavan Satyanarayana. And king woke up in the morning and saw it was a early morning dream. And he was thinking what to do. Immediately he called all his ministers and wanted to take suggestion on what to do. And the ministers told to king that, hey Raja, if this is the dream what you got, I guess we have to let them go. In fact, when you don't just let them go empty hand, please give them back whatever doesn't belong to you, what you captured from them. And also give more so that they can go happily, said ministers. So the king did the same thing. In fact, he gave much, much more than what they brought and gave it in their hand. And he advised the importance of keeping the promise and what Satyanarayana Swami told him. And they said, okay, as soon as we go home, we will do the puja, they said. And they got into the boat happily and going towards their home. Om Sri Satyanarayana Swamine Namaha Trityodhyaya Sampurnam. Om Hari Om. Then, when the merchant Sadhu and his son-in-law were coming in the boat, there was a saint who was sitting on the banks of the river. And to rest, this boat was going to the shore to take a break. And when they came there, the saint asked these two people that, what's there with the boat? It looks to be pretty heavy, he said. And the merchant wanted to protect, and he was so happy and excited, and that gave him the arrogantness that he got. And he responded to the saint that whatever it is, what is the problem for you? All we have is garbage. What are you going to do? Said the merchant. And the saint said, okay, so be it. And he left. And merchant and his son-in-law took a break and they had eating, drinking, everything. And after that they came back to the boat and the boat was really light. And when they saw it, it was filled with the trash, garbage. And Sadhu started crying, the merchant. And his son-in-law was, with a very heavy heart, he told to his father-in-law, that maybe it is because of that saint. He said, so be it, when you said that it is the garbage inside. If we somehow find him and fall on his feet, maybe he may forgive us. In fact, God Satyanarayana, Bhagavan Satyanarayana, wanted to test the merchant to see if he has changed anything at all, even a bit. And now the father-in-law and son-in-law, they started running all around looking for the saint. At last, after a lot of struggle, they got him and they fall on his feet and said, hey Maharaj, I was arrogant. I told you, when you asked me what is there in the boat, I told you garbage and you said so be it. And please, Maharaj, please save us. Please bring the things back, so that we brought a lot of jewelries there. Everything became garbage. Please save us, Maharaj, they said. And the saint advised them the importance of keeping up the promise and also being respectful. And he said, okay, you go to the boat, everything will be there. And when they returned and checked, all the trash were gone, whatever they brought were there inside, and they became happy and they started sailing towards a home. It is like long journey now. When they came there, when they got close to the home, they sent a messenger informing their family that they are coming. So, at that time, Kalavati and Leelavati were doing Satyanarayana Pooja. And mom Leelavati was very excited. She just told her daughter, you know what, your dad has come along with your husband. So let me go and welcome them. They are coming after a long time. You finish the puja, eat the prasad and come to the shore and they will be coming and we all can meet. And she left in the half of the puja and gone. And in the meantime, Kalavati, the daughter, also was in a rush. She never saw her husband after the wedding. Her dad took him along, so she was excited to meet him too. So she finished whatever the puja for the sake of it, and she didn't even take the prasad. She left right away looking for both the dad and husband. And when she went there, the merchant came down from the boat. But in the meantime, the boat was struck by a big, big wave and it got drowned inside. And everybody were crying. They were crying. They all were crying. What happened? She didn't even meet her husband yet. And this kind of thing happened before that. And by the time there came an Akashvani, a sound from the sky, and said, hey Kalavati, you didn't do your puja right. And you didn't even take the prasad. You and your mom left everything in the half of it and came. And that is the reason you are seeing the struggle now. So please go ahead and finish the puja and have prasad and come here. Everything will be okay. And they both ran to the home, finished the puja, had prasad and took some prasad for her father also. And they came back. And by the time they came, the water drained and the drowned husband came out. And as soon as he came out, Kalavati was so excited. And they all were leaving to the home back. And her father now, the merchant, said, no, we are not going home. God has given us enough messages that hereafter, from this day on, every full moon day I am going to do Satyanarayana Vrat. And in fact, I will do the Vrat right now. And then only I will come home, he said. And they all sat there in the full moon day. And they did the Vrat and ate prasad. And then they left home. And from there on, they started doing Vrat on every full moon day. And they lived happy ever after. Om Sri Satyanarayana Bhagwan ki jai. Chaturdyom Adhyaya Sampurnam. In Naimisharanya, Saunakadi Munis asked their Guru, Sudha Muni, is there anybody else who did this puja and became happy also? They asked. And Sudha Muni said, yes, of course. In fact, there was a king by name Tungatvaja. And he was very strong and a mighty king. And one day he went for hunting along with his ministers. And he got lost on the way and he got separated from them and went a long way in the wrong direction. And now he doesn't know how to come back. And he was looking and searching and he was getting tired. And by the time he saw lot of huts, bunch of huts in that forest. And thinking some help he can get from there, he went there. And it was all the shelter of the cowboys over there. And they were doing Satyanarayana Vrat. And in fact, the king wanted to have water. He was very thirsty. And also he wanted to know the direction to go back. And the people who are doing the puja, they were very busy. They gave him water and requested him to stay there and eat the prasad, and then they can certainly help him by taking him over there. And the king was losing patience. And he was sitting like he has to sit, no other way kind of thing. By the time they finished the puja, the people brought the prasad and gave it to him, the cowboys. And he said, do you mean to say that I have to eat, you cowboys, your prasad? And he threw that on the floor and stepped on it and said, just say me the way I shall go now, he said. And they were very offended, but they cannot say anything to the king. So they gave the way, and somebody left there to kind of show him the place, and he was taken care. They came back, and when he reached there, a lot of things have changed in his kingdom. In fact, his kingdom was taken over by the enemy. His family was lost. He had no idea where the kids and wife were. And he was sad, he was heartbroken, and he ended up meeting the minister, the chief minister. And he asked him, what is happening here? Everything is changed in the shortest span of time. And the minister asked him what happened on the way by the time he left and now. And he explained the episode of what happened with the cowboys. And the minister said, hey Maharaj, you have done a very, very bad thing. In fact, nobody throws a prasad like that. Nobody disrespects the prasad like that, no matter who gives it to you. You have to honor it, you have to respect it, and you have to have it. This is a big, big mistake that happened with you. So I'll say you right now, you leave this place and go to the place where those cowboys are and explain them that your ignorance and ask for forgiveness and have the puja done and take the prasad and come back. All will be okay, he was told. So the king went to the cowboys and he requested, as the minister said, he stripped off his ego and he told them about the mistake he has done. And so they were very, very sympathetic to his cause. And they did the Satyanarayana Vrat specially for him and gave the prasad and he ate. As soon as he ate the prasad with a heavy heart and praying God that they should come. And guess what? The same time, he met his wife and children who were roaming in the forest, escaping the hands of the enemies. And he also got the news that the enemies have been chased out of the country. And now he left back to the country, and he and his kids, along with his wife, lived happily ever after. Panchamodhyayaga Sampurnam. Om Sri Satyanarayana Bhagwan ki Jai. Dandavat Pranam Karishe. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Agnir Vasuchir Bhava Adityaya Patecho Bhava Vishwa Viva Sriman Bhava Brahma Ivarayur Bhava Ayur Bhava Danyam Danam Pasum Bahu Putra Labam Satavarsham Dirgamayuhu Chiranjiva Sukhi Bhava Satamanam Bhavati Satayu Purusha Shendriya Ayushvendriya Pratidishtadi Samasta Devata Sampurna Anugraha Prasadena Sigrameva Vijaya Ayur Arogya Aishwarya Abhivardirastu Akanda Lakshmi Dhanabhivardirastu Samasta Shubhakaryeshu Digvijayata Siddhirastu Vidya Ritya Vyabhara Ritya Udyog Ritya Arogya Ritya Kalyana Ritya Akanda Lakshmi Dinadinabhivardirastu. Om Hari Om. Udvasana mantra aham karishe. Om Yagyena Yagyamaya Janti Deva Dani Dharmani Pradamani Sannu Deha Rajyam Mahimanasya Jante Yatra Purve Sadhya Santi Devata. Om Nama Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Nama Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Nama Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Hari Om.
Shri Satyanarayana Sevakuramma మనసారా స్వామిని కొలిచే హారతులీరమ్మా, మనసారా స్వామిని కొలిచే హారతులీరమ్మా. స్వామిని పూజించే చేతులే చేతులట, ఆ మూర్తిని దర్శించే కనులే కన్నులట. స్వామిని పూజించే చేతులే చేతులట, ఆ మూర్తిని దర్శించే కనులే కన్నులట. తన కథ వింటే ఎవరికైనా జన్మ తరించునట. శ్రీ సత్యనారాయణుని సేవకురారమ్మా, మనసారా స్వామిని కొలిచి హారతులీరమ్మా, మనసారా స్వామిని కొలిచి హారతులీరమ్మా. ఏ వేళైనా ఏ శుభమైనా కొలిచే దైవం మీ దైవం. ఏ వేళైనా ఏ శుభమైనా కొలిచే దైవం మీ దైవం. ఏ వేళైనా ఏ శుభమైనా కొలిచే దైవం మీ దైవం. అన్నవరంలో వెలసిన దైవం ప్రతి ఇంటికి దైవం. శ్రీ సత్యనారాయణుని సేవకురారమ్మా, మనసారా స్వామిని కొలిచి హారతులీరమ్మా, మనసారా స్వామిని కొలిచి హారతులీరమ్మా. అర్చన చేద్దామా మనసర్పణ చేద్దామా, ఆ స్వామికి మదిలోనే కోవిల కడదామా. అర్చన చేద్దామా మనసర్పణ చేద్దామా, ఆ స్వామికి మదిలోనే కోవిల కడదామా. 10 కాలాలు పసుపు కుంకుమలు ఇమ్మని కోరేమా. శ్రీ సత్యనారాయణుని సేవకురారమ్మా, మనసారా స్వామిని కొలిచి హారతులీరమ్మా, మనసారా స్వామిని కొలిచి హారతులీరమ్మా. మంగళమనరమ్మా జయ మంగళమనరమ్మా, కరములు జోడించి శ్రీ చందనమలరించి. మంగళమనరే సుందరమూర్తికి వందనమనరమ్మా. శ్రీ సత్యనారాయణుని సేవకురారమ్మా, మనసారా స్వామిని కొలిచి హారతులీరమ్మా, మనసారా స్వామిని కొలిచి హారతులీరమ్మా, మనసారా స్వామిని కొలిచి హారతులీరమ్మా.